All right, as promised, I'm back. Now, am I back? Everybody's got to now log back in, don't they? I'm going to wait till someone comes on and actually proves to me that I'm actually live. Okay, someone's on there. All right, thank you. I'm going to wait for everybody else to get back on here just for a second. Good, we're good, we're good. Awesome. You can see the just disgustingness of my desk and my floor. My taxes are over there if anybody wants to do them. Okay, good, we're live. Thank you, Joseph. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other stuff you might see on my table if you saw me at a show. Look at that. Now that is the cover to Conan Wonder Woman number 1. This is an alternate cover because I didn't get to do any of the regular covers. That's a long story. But I have this $17.50. Wow, that's outrageously high priced. Let's move on. Check this out. Future Quest Presents, featuring the Hercules over here. This is the first Damage cover I did. This is for the Damage annual number 1. It was the very first Damage story I did. This is Damage number 12. Dead Man up here, Superman there, Flash unconscious, Green Arrow, Vixen, Guy Gardner down here. What more could you want? Let's see, Damage 15. This is the cover to Damage 15. This he's eating Fing Fang Foom apparently, which would be another copyright infringement problem, but yeah, what are you gonna do? My last Damage cover, kind of reminiscent of Spider-Man 50. Ethan is very sad that his series got canceled. Over here, sorry about the glare. Over here we've got, this is Firestorm, obviously, Metamorpho, Sugar and Spike, and the Metal Man. This was the cover to Legends of Tomorrow number 1, which featured stories with all these characters. Okay, I still got a couple Amethyst covers left. This is Amethyst number 3. This is a wraparound or gatefold cover. Got Amethyst there, Hellblazer dude back there. We flip, and on the flip side, we've got Eclipso, kind of my reimagining of Eclipso for the new 52. Wonder Woman covers. Woohoo! This is for issue, I have no idea. It was originally 85, but then they went back to the original numbering, so I have no clue. This was supposed to be issue 79, which I think it is issue 79, unless they went back to the original numbering again anyway. But so these are both for sale at exorbitantly high prices. This is kind of cool. Archie 1955. So I did kind of Archie as Elvis, with the girls, you know, screaming. It's my daughter down there. I actually did a cover of her on one of my Wonder Woman covers on my run with Gail Simone. And so this is like 12 years later. So she was in kindergarten when I did the first one, and now she's a senior in high school. So Reggie number 1. I think this is an alternate cover. I think this is an alternate cover as well. That's all I ever do is alternate covers. This is interesting because this is a Superman cover for one of the 100-page giants, although I'm not sure that it ever got used. Maybe it will yet, and I shouldn't reveal it yet, but not too late now. Okay. Adam Strange and Hawkman number 1, which would be Death of Hawkman, really. Number 4. Number 5. I took a lot of heat because Hawk Girls, actually, or Hawk Woman, whatever she's called now, is on the cover, but she's not in the story. You know, classic 70s Marvel trick, right? Well, the issue is that the story got changed and the editor got changed about the same time. So there was a big lack of communication, and no one kind of knew what was going on until this cover got solicited. And I was like, this isn't in the story anymore. And so, but it was too late to change anything. So that's why Hawk Girl's on the cover, but not actually in the story. There's the original art to that San Diego 1946 print, featuring the 1940s actress that I still can't think of her name, but I will. I'm getting old, man. When you can't think of names when you want to, that's not a good sign. I did a print called Little Justice, and it sold so horribly that I just quit bringing it to shows. but it is really cute. You know, it's kind of all the Justice League as little kids. This is nothing. Here we have the original art to, what the heck? This is the original art to the mermaid poster or print that I did. Oh, not supposed to look at that. That's a Wonder Woman cover that has never been used yet. Okay, Red Sonja Tarzan number 5. Red Sonja Tarzan number 6. The reason this is all open or hair and everything is because I made that one big flat red color, trying to be cool as do something funky as a colorist. I don't know if it worked or not, but I did it. This is Injustice number 12, so it basically has everybody in the DCU on it, including that monkey guy. What's his name? Sherlock Chimp? I don't know. Anyway, so that's kind of cool. I did a Ninjak cover that got sat on for probably 2 years, and they finally used it on some sort of relaunch thing, and I can't remember what exactly the name of that issue was. This is kind of cool. That is a piece I did for, I'm going to take this out and show you the whole thing because I just think it's cool. And probably a lot of you have not seen this. This was for Toy Fair magazine. And this is like the best HeroClix at the time, fighting. So it's kind of a double page spread where you've got, that's Ultimate Thor. He was a very powerful HeroClix, as I'm told, versus Superman. You've got Lex Luthor in his armor versus Bizarro up here. That's, what's that dude's name? That Marvel guy, not the Guardian, what the heck is his name? Somebody will know. Some of you guys know, right? Supreme or something? What the heck was his name? And then this other dude is a DC guy, and I don't know who that is either. I can't remember. Ultraman or something? Does that even sound like it could be reasonable? To answer your question, Aaron Lopez, yeah, I did a bunch of these for Wizard magazine, but they also own Toy Fair magazine. So this spread got used for Toy Fair magazine, which was a Wizard publication. Sentry, that's it. Thank you. So that's the Sentry. But is this Ultraman? Is that who that is? I think it is. And then this is Mongol, and of course Darkseid over here. Gray Hulk. I don't know why he was more powerful than Green Hulk, but he was. And then Magog, as we remember from Kingdom Come. So anyway, that's kind of a cool piece. I still have it. I'm surprised I do. All the other double page spreads that I did for them, I've sold, but that one still sits there. And we'll sit it back in here because it's going to continue to sit there. And I'll flip this back over. Okay, so this is sort of a, trying to eliminate glare here, but this is a watercolor colored pencil sketch I did for the cover of my sketchbook. It was kind of a tryout idea, but it wasn't published or anything. In fact, it didn't even get in the sketchbook, but it was just kind of a color comp, if you will. Any of you happen to see the new Turok series from Dynamite? When I say new, it's now old, but when I did it, it was new. It was a new Turok, a new version of Turok. And that's issue number 2, 4, and 5. Always got dinosaur action. And then I have just tons of roughs. Giant size layouts, basically, I did for cover art in here. These are kind of cool. Oh, the old dudes. Somebody help me out. From Dark Crystal. I know those are the Skeksis, but I can't think of the guy's name. The old wizards. The come on, somebody help me out here. You could probably tell who it is if you could see it better. Is it too glary? Is that better? I got so many light sources in here. It's hard to get rid of all the. Okay, there we go. Anyway, it's kind of cool because I did them on colored paper, which I don't normally do. And then I kind of got this groovy Lord of the Rings piece with Bilbo, Gollum, and Gandalf. So anyway, that's just one portfolio of covers and pinups. I have tons of them, and I'll bore you with some of them, and then we're going to get to work and actually start drawing. This has got some cool art from, can we see that? Yeah, there we go. It's a double page spread from the Infinite Crisis Dark multiverse issue. So I got a bunch of pages from that. Pretty cool Batman page. There's Booster Gold with his collar. I'm going to be doing a sketch of him later for a commission. If any of you guys checked out my video on my YouTube channel, I did some storytelling breakdowns of these pages in depth. So if you haven't checked out that, you can go to YouTube at, just look up Aaron Lopresti and you can find my channel. I've got like 25 or 26 videos posted. This is all more art from the Infinite Crisis. There's old Superman, I guess Earth 2. No, you probably can't see that in the glare. And then there's Superboy frying Lex Luthor. Spoiler alert. Oops, sorry. Again, more pages from that. And we're getting into the Blue Beetle or Mecha Blue Beetle, whatever they'd call him. I don't know. Evil Blue Beetle, where he sort of joins with Brother Eye. Spoiler alert. If you haven't read this, I just ruined it for you. But if you haven't read it, you should check it out. It's actually pretty good. James Tynion, or is it Tynion? Our new Batman writer wrote it, and it's actually really good. Here's some Aquaman pages. You know, got some fun stuff in there. A lot of action, a lot of romance, action, romance. What more could you want? It's better than a Netflix show. And this is some of the work from the Aquaman 100-page giant I did. Just lots of bearded Aquaman action and mutant fish stuff going on. And the Sea Devils are in there too, if you're into that kind of thing. I did a 2-page, that's one of the pages. The other one, my inker Matt Ryan got, Harley Quinn special or something. And so I did a 2-page story. This is the one Harley Quinn page. The other one, like I said, Matt's got. Here's a little Batman versus Damage action. Some of the pages I have left from the Future Quest featuring the Herculoids story. It's got some good stuff in there. Particularly proud of this story. I don't know how many people actually saw it, but it was kind of cool. But I'm a big Herculoids fan. And I drew it, so therefore I'm probably prejudiced to liking it. Anyway, so there's some good stuff there. I also have tons of Conan, Wonder Woman pages and Swamp Thing, Damage, you know. But now, let's get to the good stuff. I have I'm going to start off with my Raw Imagination book. I got someone, I think it's Jeff Ellis is the young gentleman's name, who got one of these from me, and he wants a penguin drawn on the inside, not the penguin from the cartoon series, but Batman villain penguin. Now, the way I set this book up was sort of foolish on my part. I should have left this, come on, focus. I should have left this blank, the inside front cover, and I could have done the sketches here because it's a harder surface and easier to draw on. But no, I thought it would be interesting to have the blank page right before the title page. So that's what I'm sketching, but I have to sketch it so I don't bend this, such as the challenges of being an artist, right? So we're going to tackle this, and oops, I'm like a good old camera bump to keep everybody awake. I am going to attempt to draw the penguin live in this book. Let's see what happens. I'm going to use a regular pencil. I don't have much of one left. It's just a nub, but that's the life of an artist, right? You guys probably can't even see that, can you? I wonder if I zoom in a little bit. I still have focus problems. Let's see. See, I can zoom in. All right, I'm going to ink this, so even if you can't see the pencil really well, eventually you will be able to see it. So basically, those of you who might have read the John Buscema and Stan Lee's How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, Buscema does kind of this, he has one page in there where he shows like two ways to sort of do the underdrawing. And he said some people will go in and do like the stick figure drawing and everything, right? And other people will just kind of scribble their way to the drawing. I tend to be one of those guys that scribbles my way to the drawing. I do sometimes use a little bit of the stick figure underdrawing, but generally I just kind of start drawing loosely and sort of meander my way through it. Which I don't know if that's the best way to work, but it's how I've ended up working, so I keep doing it. I'm one of those guys, do as I say, not as I do, right? I wonder if this camera's probably over my wrong shoulder. There's always something wrong, right? I'll have to correct that for tomorrow's feed. Okay, so I want to make sure that eye is not too far to the side. Kind of judge where the nostril's at to kind of go straight up and gauge where the corner of my eye is going to be. We know he has the monocle over on that eye, so we're going to leave that just shiny. I guess we're not going to have to worry about, drawing a pupil or anything in there. This is kind of a fatter version of the penguin, but I guess he is, he's chunky, right? So I charged $20 extra to put a sketch inside the sketchbooks. Okay, so that would be, the normal sketchbook is signed and numbered, and $25. The one with the sketch version are, trying to find a better place to put this so you guys can see it better, but the sketch versions are $45. So this is a $20 sketch. And I put a lot more time into these than I would a normal $20 headshot. So I think it's a pretty good value. You can be the judge of that, I suppose. I'm going to try and draw this a little bit darker than maybe I normally would with a pencil, just so it shows up better on camera. Now remember, you're not paying for entertainment value, and you're not getting any. But since you didn't pay for it, you shouldn't be too upset. That's the problem with doing process videos. No matter how you package them, they tend to get a little dull. Unless you're an artist and you just want to watch everything someone does, which I do. I'll watch painting tutorials that would kill an ordinary man, but I find them fascinating because they're things I can learn from, Okay, so we've established his face, right? So I'm just going to come in and with some pens and ink this sucker up. So yeah, your sketch actually even gets inked. It's not just like this pencil sketch that I do. And there it is. It's not just a pencil sketch you're getting. You're actually going to get it inked too. So let's do that. I'm going to, you know what? If I did this without, let's see if I can do this without, not, that's a great shot right there. It brings in more people, I think. If I go over this shoulder, you get to see more of my crappy studio floor. Is that? No? Hey, how about that? Then I'm drawing over like this. Can we see that? I actually don't know if that's any better or not. What do you guys think? Is that better or is that not better? Anyone? Bueller? Is this okay? Can you guys see this all right? Got all these hot reflective lights bouncing on here. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to use a micron 0.08 to kind of do the outline on this. Okay, Joey, thanks for responding. Okay, it's a little harder for me to look over my shoulder and make sure that I haven't lost my visuals here, but I think we're all right. I'm not going to do this as tight. Again, it's a sketch, right? And so I'm not going to ink this like I would if, say, it were a finished piece of work. Just because there's actually a little bit of fun and energy in doing it as a sketch, as opposed to trying to, you know, get these refined lines in there. Penguin has become one of the more interesting characters to draw because I think everybody has a different take on him, you know, and how they want him to look or how they think he should look. And so kind of exaggerating him a little bit is kind of fun. He certainly has the features that you can exaggerate him if you want to. Can't quite figure out why that's so hot. Or that's horrible, right? Wait a minute. Ooh, we're getting something now. Okay. You're looking over my shoulder, but that's not bad. I don't think that's bad there. Okay, cool. There's a certain amount of freedom you get when you're not trying to be perfect. You know, when you're saying, okay, this is a sketch. This is how I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do it loose. I'm going to draw a little bit as I go so that my ink lines aren't exactly the same as pencil lines. I'm using the pencil lines as a guide. And like I said, there's a certain amount of energy and there's a real kind of nice artistic quality you get to something that's a sketch as opposed to a finished piece of art, which again, you know, not knocking finished pieces of art, they're awesome, but sketches are generally cheaper and they have a different sort of energy to them. And so they're not a bad thing to, you know, collect. Like guys, layouts and, you know, underdrawings or things like that tend to be really fun and cool things to collect. Now, the one thing I can't do on these guys, I can't use solid black. Okay, so any shadow, or even when I get up to his hair. Are we still there? Okay. I can't use solid black because like a black marker or something and just color it in black because it bleeds through on the back side of this page And then so you got this, you know, this title page, or the, pardon me, the front end papers here with all this black splotchy bleed through, which kind of looks like crap. So, so any black I do on these sketches are all like line work cross hatching. I can put a little, you know, some loose shading in here. See, this is what happens at cons too. I'm right in the middle of something and somebody texts me and calls me. My daughter's out lifting weights. She says, I feel like the Hulk. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, can we see that? Yeah, you can see that, all right. Oh, there we go. I'll tilt that up just a little bit there so you can kind of see how the line work's coming together. The other day, the other way was better. Yeah, well, okay. All right, well, this is uncomfortable. So I'm gonna flip back. I got people saying it's okay, they're complaining, so I'm gonna go back to this, to my, yeah, so you can see my, thing is my hand's gonna get in the way this way, but, yeah, you can actually see it better though, can't you? Let's see if I turn, you know what, I'm gonna turn like this. Okay, I got some hearts. Does that mean that's better? Okay. I'm gonna cover up his face here. You're gonna have to, but I'm gonna do some, see, as I'm doing the black in his hair, I'm gonna create a bunch of lines like this, right? And I'm going to crosshatch the heck out of this in a second. Right? And again, I'm sketching this, so it's not like I'm worried about every single line being perfect. As you can see, I'm just kind of, I'd be careful not to press too hard here, or I'm going to bend this paper, which it's no longer in mint condition. So those who know me know I'm a collector, and it drives me nuts when I just rebought 2 Frazetta books because I dropped them out of my bookcase and bent the covers, and I just could not stand it. So anyway, I have to kind of, like I said, instead of just going in with a solid black, which would make this a lot easier, I have to sort of cross hatch it to get the black so I don't have that really disgusting bleed through on the other side of the page. Okay, so you can kind of see how the hair is coming together there and getting darker just by virtue of me cross hatching. And again, this is a pretty rapid cross hatch, a very loose cross hatch. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to be as orderly in my cross hatching as I might be if I was doing a, you know, a finished piece or something, because I want that sort of sketch quality to it. Thank all you guys for coming by and checking this out too. I know that me not being very knowledgeable on the technology side of things, I've never done this before, so trying to get it figured out is there's been a few gaffes here and there, but I appreciate you guys bearing with me. It'll be better tomorrow, maybe. Okay, let's get this ear done. But you can see that looks, I mean, you know, it's black. It's not jet black, but that's kind of, it's a good way to sort of create that black while still maintaining that sort of sketch look that we're really going for in the first place. I'm just kind of messing with the ear right now. Again, I'm doing as much drawing with this pen as I was with the pencil. I'm just kind of using the pencil underneath for a guide, especially on some of the less important things. I mean, when I'm on the face, I might be a little bit more closer to what I drew in the pencil stage. So we got his ear, we got some hair going on there. Let's work on the slower lip a little bit. Yeah, not bad. Getting some detail in around the eye. Now I'm going to take the really sort of boring task of cross-hashing the heck out of this bow tie down here, since it is supposed to be black. See, so I got one set of lines going this way, right? I'm just going to come back over the top and do it again the other direction. As you can see, it's starting to turn black. Okay. I know what you're saying. You're saying, wow, Aaron's putting so much work into this for just 20 bucks. What a deal. I should get one. I agree. You probably should. Now, I'm not going to erase any of the stuff underneath here. I'm just going to leave the pencils, you know. It is, after all, a sketch. I'm not going to put a, you know, make him all wrinkly and stuff and make him really grotesque like some people do. I just kind of, I think he needs to have a certain amount of evil charm to him, you know. So I don't want to make him too grotesque. Although we all enjoy as artists putting a few lines in, right? I think I'm going to carry this hair back a little bit past his ear. Now, see, I think that's pretty good. There you go. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. Thank you, Stephen. Oh, Stephen, by the way, Stephen Ng, thanks for hooking me up with that Claus book, The Art of Claus, that animated film, which is brilliant, by the way. Stephen hooked me up with a connection to get a copy of The Art of, which I ordered and have not received yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so there it is, the penguin. I don't know, maybe I'll draw his little monocle thing going down like that. Sure, why not? Okay, so the camera's going to adjust the focus. There we go. There it is, the penguin. So this again was $45 total, 20 bucks for the sketch, 25 for the book, total 45. Free shipping this weekend only. And I'm going to sign it because that seems the appropriate thing to do. And I love writing 2020, even though I can't believe it's 2020. So anyway, normally on the book, if you just wanted the signed and numbered edition without a sketch, I would sign it over here. But I always sign the sketches. I got to sign, you know, where I drew the sketch, right? So I have something else over here that I don't know that anybody would consider cool except me. Well, you might consider it cool. This is a little like Batman notebook thing we got from DC Comics as a present one year. So it's got lined ruled paper in it. And I can like put story notes and things. Ooh, there's a drawing in here. Unfortunately, now that I've written it, it's not worth anything. Or maybe it's worth more. So I got script notes in here. But what I also have in here is a complete list of everybody that's bought one of these sketchbooks and what they had in them, because I want to keep track of all that. Normally I just sell stuff willy-nilly. Willy-nilly. Wow, I'm old. And don't really keep track of anything. And then I get home and I'm like, I don't know how many prints I have left. I don't even know what original art I have left. But I thought, you know what, these books, I spent a lot of money getting these things printed, so I'm keeping track of everything. Now this is Jeff Ellis, Penguin. That's what I just did. He's on here. I just finished it, so I'm going to give him a little check mark so I know I won't have to draw it again. It also tells me what number I'm on in the books, and this is copy number 90. So lucky number 90. I don't know if that's a lucky number or not, but there it is. So I put the number in there. Just got to give this a second to dry because I don't want it to smear, and this is a matte paper, but you know, it's still got a little gloss on it. So there you have it. Then I just package this sucker up, and quite nicely, I might add. I always package stuff very, very, very well. I'm a collector myself, and I don't like people, I don't want to send stuff to people that might be damaged or something. And I'm going to put a few more lines in here while I'm waiting for that to dry. To me, it always ends up being about not how much I charged for something, but just the artwork itself. So you say, well, I put more than $20 work into that. It's kind of like at that point, once you charge, okay, I'm doing this, I'm going to, you know, for whatever amount of money, I'm going to go in there and do whatever it takes to make sure the piece looks good. I don't care. Rick Magyar told me a story years ago where he was at a convention, I guess in New York, and Barry Windsor Smith was there. And he said that he went, you know, waited in line to get a sketch from Smith, and you know, he asked him for Conan, and Barry Smith started drawing the headshot of Conan, you know, and he got a little bit into it, a few minutes into it, and he asked Rick, he goes, how much money you got, kid? And he's like, $20. He goes, okay, it's done, and handed it to him. Well, I'm kind of, I can't be quite that much of a mercenary about it. The artwork is still important to me, and I mean, your name's on it, and it's going to be there, you know, till the book disintegrates. So, you know, I wanted to at least be able to say, you know, people look back on this, especially after I'm gone, and go, well, that's a decent piece of work. So, or at least as decent as I could make it. So, anyway, there we go. There it is. So that's the first one done for the show. And is it 6:30 already? Have I been on for an hour? You know what? I'm not going to end it yet because I want to start. The first person on my list requested a booster gold. I'm going to at least knock out the figure work on the booster. How much are we charging for the sketchbooks? Aaron Lopez, I am charging $25 for the sketchbooks, $45 if you want a headshot in the sketchbook. Thanks. Steven's jumping in to help me out. Yeah, David Parks, how you doing, man? Did you get my text, by the way? I texted you, you know, and you never got back to me. And you said, you're the one who said keep in touch, so I don't know. I have some friends from film school that are actually way more successful than me that I keep running into. That's kind of fun to see them. Okay, so the tricky thing here, whenever you're drawing on your lap, is you got to figure out, you know, I'm going to do this in pencil so you guys can see it because the blue line isn't helping. Can we see that? Yeah, okay, we can see Booster's head. Focus. Thank you. So I sort of you got to figure out the pose, and then you got to figure out if it's going to fit on the page. I figure most people want a full figure and they don't want a 3/4, and so I try to do that, which means that I have to make sure that the figure fits on the page. And I have no idea what I'm going to do pose-wise. I'm just going to kind of meander around and kind of figure it out as I go. I mean, I have some idea. I mean, those of you who, you know, look at my stuff on, you know, some of these galleries and stuff, you go, wow, it's a real similar piece to the one he did for me or whatever. Well, you know, when you start doing this stuff, you've only got so many poses in your head, right? And I suppose I could be maybe a little bit more creative with some of the stuff I do pose-wise. Oh, that's kind of light. You guys can see it. But anyway, so I sort of have to knock this out, give myself an idea of what I want the figure to look like. You know, and then you sort of have to kind of look at it and figure out if the pose is any good or not. This dumb thing would stay focused. I guess my hand moving in and out is not helping, but the single most important thing about doing a convention sketch, and okay, first of all, let me say, calling it a sketch is really a misnomer because these are way more, for most people and most artists that do these, are way more than sketches. That penguin thing was a sketch. This is a all I wouldn't go as far to say it's necessarily a finished piece of art, but it is for what it is, if that makes any sense. I just don't, I wouldn't, I mean, if I were to stop right here, this is a sketch, right? You keep going with it like I'm going to do and ink it and put marker on here and everything else. It becomes more than that. It becomes, in a way, a finished piece of art, at least, like I said, for what it's intended to be. It's finished. Okay, so can we see that? Ooh. No, I'm zoomed in too much. Yeah. Come on. There you go. You can kind of get an idea of what's going on there figure-wise. Okay. So I try and get this figure knocked out. It's a pretty lame looking foot. The problem with live streaming something like this is you would not believe the amount of changes that I go through every single time I do a figure, and it's like you guys get to see all my mistakes when I do this, as opposed to me just showing you what I want you to see, which is, you know, me making all the right decisions and never screwing anything up. The most important thing, though, on these sketches is the head, especially when you're doing the female character. I think the face is so important. And if I can get a really nice face on the figure, then I always walk away and feel pretty good about it. If I don't like the face, I'm, you know, even if everything else on the piece is brilliant, if I don't like the face, then I think the whole thing sucks, and I'm like, ugh. But sometimes you just sort of gotta, you know, you've got a limited amount of time and a limited amount of attention that you can put to any single piece of artwork. And so you have to kind of find a happy medium where you can figure out how to do a nice piece and still get it done. Because you got, you know, several people that come and want to get some original art from you, and I hate not being able to accommodate everybody, because I know a lot of, you know, that's one of the main reasons people come to these things, is to get artwork. But like I said, you can only do so many at a show. And I'm not real great at working in my hotel room anymore because the lighting sucks in there, and it's really hard to see what you're doing. You know, Booster should be smiling, shouldn't he? I mean, that's kind of who he is. Okay, let's see. Am I missing anybody here? How do we, Joe Navarro wants to know, how do we order the book with a sketch? You can PayPal me at Aaron. Actually, I'm gonna type it in here right now. My PayPal. Come on. You're gonna watch me type, which is pretty exciting video. Okay, so I just typed it in. You can PayPal me at aaron@aaronlopresti.com. That's my PayPal address. And just put in the message in there what it's for. I mean, for this weekend. Normally, I would, you know, we'd have a communication via email and all that kind of stuff. But since I'm going to be doing this all weekend, the easiest thing to do is just PayPal me the $45 to that account and say, you know, sketchbook with sketch of whoever you want. And then I have a record of it, and I will get one out to you pronto. Does that answer your question, Joe? Matthew, all the prints are on the website right now, except for those two Wonder Woman prints, the remastered ones I showed earlier, which is probably what most people want. So again, all you have to do, you can't really order through my website. The website just sends you to an email that you email me personally, then I tell you how to order. So I'm telling you how to order right now. If you want anything that we've shown, you know, during this video or talked about, all you have to do is PayPal me at aaron@aaronlopresti.com. You don't have to worry about shipping because I'm taking care of it this weekend. And just let me know which print you want in the message box, and I'll get it out to you. It's pretty simple. And if there's any question, if I'm not clear, or if you're not clear to me, then I'll email you. So make sure I have your email, and make sure I have your mailing address as well. I have people send me money and they say, I want this, but they don't give me their mailing address, so I can't ship it out to them. But every print I have, except for the two, the Warrior Nouveau and the Girl Power, are not listed on my website, but they are available, and all the other ones are on my website. I'm going to work on his face a little bit here. Let's see if we can get in a little bit closer. That's as close as I'm going to be able to get. Let's see if I move this sucker in a little bit more. Ooh. Okay, so you can see it's starting to come together here a little bit. I want to make sure my eyes aren't too far apart. I'm going to go to my thinner pencil since I'm doing some facial detail. I generally draw with this thinner mechanical pencil. I'm using a 0.3 lead, which is ridiculously tiny, but it allows me to do the finer detail. The lead breaks super easy though, so you have to be careful not to press too hard, which I do all the time. So I'm my own worst enemy most of the time. I'm gonna have to go do a costume check on him because I can't ever remember all the details. But once I get this figure the way I want it, ooh. Focus. There we go. It's one thing you learn how to draw is a clenched fist. Yeah, this hand up here sucks. I need to fix that. Let's see. Yes, thank you. Kai Woodman says, I'm excited to see this. I think the pose is great so far. Thank you. Are you doing more full figure sketches like the Booster Gold? Looking pretty awesome. No, my sketch list, I'm going to be doing more of them live, but they're not available because my sketch list is already full for this weekend. I should be, quite frankly, I should be working on Justice League right now, but you know, I was planning on being at ECCC anyway, so I took a lot of the people that wanted sketches from me at Emerald City, and then I also opened it up the sketch list a couple days ago on Facebook, and it filled up pretty fast. Gosh darn it, that sucks. I don't like that anyway. It doesn't have enough power to it. So yeah, the sketch list for my purposes here is full because I have quite a few to do. But if you want a sketchbook with a sketch in it, that I can squeeze in. Yeah, it's better. You know, come on, he's a superhero. Okay. So normally, I would, at this point, I would start inking this. You know, actually, I'm not sold on this leg down here yet. Let me see if I can fix this. See, you're getting to, I mean, you're really getting to see behind the curtain here because you'd be amazed at how often we as professional comic book artists, I mean, we are redrawing stuff and changing it and saying, wow, that blows. It needs to be fixed. That needs to be corrected. And does my foreshortening really look like foreshortening, or does it just look like a short leg? You know, these are the travails. I gotta make sure I don't get my calf up too high either. I always do that. My calf muscle, I always bring it right off the kneecap, and I'm like, that's wrong. Bring it down. Okay, I think that's fairly decent. So I've got to find, you know what, didn't I just have a page in here, my portfolio with Booster Gold with a collar on? So all I have to do is find that page, and then I've got my reference, right? Up there it is. There it is. What do his boots look like? You can't see this, but I can. I'll bring it in here so you can see what the heck, right? Okay. If I can get away from the glare. Oh, perfect. Okay. So that's the booster gold we want with this, with the collar. So let's see here. Actually, I got his part on the wrong side. That's terrible. I have to fix that. Okay, I can't really see too much here. I got to go to, this is better. That's the shot right there. Okay, so that goes, okay, all right. So I'm going to actually slide this up here while I'm looking at glare. I'll tell you this plastic, I'm going to take this out. There, now we can see it. Okay. So I have to go in and I think this waist is right. The only thing I screwed up, well, I didn't screw it up yet. I'm not going to show you what I'm doing because then you can't see. I messed it up. I just have to put the star in his chest, really, is all I have to do. And the collar goes there. Now the boots look like they, okay. I think I got it. But I do have to change the part in his hair because I got to go in the wrong way, which I will do. Okay, so we're back with the live art action. There we go. You guys can see, how's that? Because you can see his hair is parted on the wrong side if you're a stickler about that stuff, and well, quite frankly, I tend to be sometimes. It's a weird thing. If I don't know that I've screwed up, I'm not sitting there worrying about it, but as soon as I point something out, even if it's something as silly as, who cares what, what side his part is on. If I know that I've screwed it up, it drives me nuts. I gotta go back and fix it. Okay, there we go. Now, the other thing is this boot, it's like that and like that. And I think we're in there, man. All right, what time is it? 6:43. Well, you know what? We came on at 5:30, so I have an hour. I was going to go an hour and a half, so let's ink this sucker, huh? So I'm going to go with the 0.8 to kind of do the outline work. John Murakami, thank you very much. Says amazing work. I appreciate that very much. Nicholas Roberts, collars on costumes. Exactly. What are we trying to? What's the fashion statement here? So I'll do all my outline work with this 0.8, which is fairly thick. I mean, not really, but. I can get a thick line out of it if I want to. And normally what I'll do is I'll go in and ink it like this. And then after I erase the pencil out, I'll go back over it again with an 8 just around the outline to thicken it up. No particular reason except I like the look of it. And so it's been kind of more of a stylistic approach that I've adopted for my convention sketches. I don't necessarily ink that way when I'm doing, finished comic book work or something, but it has sort of how I've gone with my sketches, and I don't know, I like the way it looks, so I just keep doing it. But you'll see when we get to that point. Now I'm using really slick paper. There's good and bad, okay? The ink sits on top of the paper as opposed to soaking into it when you have a rougher, more absorbent, non-coated paper. And so you have to be really careful that when you start using marker over the top of these pens, that you don't have a wet spot in there, or I should say a spot that hasn't dried yet, and then the pens will, the markers will ink the black line work. So you have to be cognizant of that, and it's really a problem when you're doing this at a convention, because you're not sitting around waiting, you know, I'm going to let this sit for 3 hours so every spot on here, you know, the ink line is dry, because you're moving along. You got to get it done and move on to the next one. So I have been known to smear my black lines before, and then you got to go in and fix it. So I don't know that I'm really saving any time by not waiting. But I love drawing on these what we call plate surface, or because the pencil erases a lot easier, because again, it's sitting on top of the paper as opposed on top of a coated paper, as opposed to really getting dug into the nooks and crannies in a textured paper, right? So it erases a lot better, and I can usually get the ink work or the marker work over it, so it's not as splotchy either, because the markers tend to, on a more absorbent paper, they tend to suck into that paper almost immediately, so they're harder to blend, whereas the markers sit longer on top without soaking into the paper like this, so they're easier to blend. But like I said, then you always running that risk that this line that I'm putting down right now, that there might be a spot there or there that isn't completely dry, and then you smudge it. So there's good and bad with everything, I guess. You just kind of go with what you like, and what maybe the, you know, what positives outweigh the negatives, I guess. So if I can keep from smudging this line work, I like the way it looks better on the slicker paper than the more textured paper, at least for what I'm doing here. And my color commissions, those of you who have gotten one or actually seen one, I use a lot of colored pencil as opposed to colored marker in those. And you can really get a nice blend with every time I move, this thing goes out of focus. But you can really get a nice blend of the colors on these slicker surface papers, for the same reason that, the pencil's basically sitting on top of a coated surface, so it's a lot easier to smudge and blend together, where you have rather than when you have a really textured paper, and that texture always ends up showing through. So if you're doing a flesh tone or something, especially on a girl's face or something you want really soft, it works really well on these smooth surface papers, not so much on the textured like paper. Then you're going to get the rough edges and the bumps and all that kind of stuff, that so the colored pencil doesn't lay as well on that. So again, pluses and negatives. Tomorrow I'm coming back with a better lighting setup and a better camera setup, so that I'll have the camera over here shooting this way, so my hand isn't in the way all the time. You guys were essentially the guinea pigs in a lot of ways. It's one thing I always do is like draw a couple lines, step back, look, draw a couple lines, step back and look. I don't know if that's the most efficient way to do that stuff, but I'm always feeling like I got to keep an eye on that, make sure that looks okay, or how does this look? And I very rarely will either pencil or ink for an extended period of time without stopping for a second to take a look at what I'm doing. Because it's easy to get over focused on the little tiny details and miss the big picture, so to speak, and then something doesn't look as good as you thought it looked. I don't think it's the most efficient way to draw. I mean, I don't really know about other people that maybe just put their head down and go, and then stop when they're done. But okay, so we have basically, we have our outline here. There we go. All I have to do now is do the face. So I'm going to go to a smaller pen, a 0.1, to go in and do the facial details. Sometimes it's so hard to get the eyes even so that they're at the same level, which is weird that I should be that focused on that, because if you look at any normal human, their eyes are not even straight across. One's always higher than the other, and we don't really notice that though, but when you're looking at a drawing, it can be painfully obvious. So it's kind of like, I always try and get the eyes even though it's almost impossible really to get them perfect, and they really shouldn't be, realistically speaking, they shouldn't be perfect because nobody's are. But like I said, that seems to be the stuff that when you're seeing somebody in real life or real time, and those are things they just seem to work, and you don't really notice them because you're not really staring at their eyes to say, wow, I wonder if that guy's eyes are even, or if his eyebrows are even, or whatever. But when you're looking at a picture that's completely static and it never moves, then you can start focusing on all those things and go, wow, are those eyes straight or are they crooked? So I try to avoid getting them too crooked because it's too noticeable. But like I said, nobody's perfect, especially me. All right, so there's Booster Gold inked. Joe Navarro said, I love your work, sent the PayPal for a sketchbook. Joe, I read you loud and clear. I will check that out when I'm done with this, and might even draw it tonight. But should ship it out on Monday with most of this other stuff when I get it done. I'm not going to put a lot of line work and feathering on here until after I'm done markering it, and then I may go over the top and add some stuff. And it looks more like a coloring book right now, but that's kind of the idea, since I know I'm going in here with markers that I'm going to fill it in with the, and it won't need the amount of line work that I might normally put in just a black and white piece. Okay, I'm not going to marker this right now because, like I said, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I'm not at a con and I can let this sit for a little bit and make sure that the blacks are all dry and there's not any hidden spots like in here or over there that that are still wet. But I will save this guy, and like tomorrow I will marker him up. I'll make sure you guys get to see at least one of these guys, me doing the marker work on them. So as we rip that guy off, put him on the side. What time is it? 7 o'clock. Should I keep going or should we call it a night? Anyone? Bueller? I could do one more, I suppose. I got 34 people watching. That seems, oh no, I've only got 13 watching right now, so I must have bored a ton of people. Warren just got here. Well, I can't cut out now until Warren just got here. Let me bring up my list here and see what's next on my list. I got a Huntress bust to do, but I kind of have, okay, I'll do that. Although I may have to double check her costume. It's been a while. I've also got a Moon Knight. Octavia wants a Moon Knight, and I really want to draw that because I haven't ever drawn a Moon Knight before. Okay, well, Kristen says she can keep watching, so if Kristen's going to keep watching, I'll do another one. What do you guys think? Huntress bust or Moon Knight? Waiting for someone to type in. Type it in. Moon Knight, or Huntress bust? I'm telling you, you guys are no help. Let's see. Keep drawing. Portlanders don't quit. Okay, Warren, you just got here. I've been already here for an hour and a half, pal. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, Huntress. Got Moon Knight, got Huntress. Got Moon Knight, got Huntress. I'm going to do the Huntress bust simply because it'll be easier for you guys to see. Because it'll be bigger. The face will be bigger. Let's see if it actually if it pans out that way. So we're doing the basic egg shape. You know, you've all seen that in the How to Draw books, right? For the head. A lot of times I'll do her bust with just kind of a block shape to kind of get an idea. Excuse me, not Corona. Just kind of get an idea of where things are going to be. All right, so, you know, you just kind of focus. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to knock out something like that to kind of get a idea of the figure or the partial figure that I'm drawing here. First things for me that always go in are the eyes, and of course they're the most important. They're the, what do they call them? The gateway to the soul. So again, try and get those suckers even if I can. Let's do that. It's better for you guys, but I'm looking at it crooked now. Inevitably, I find out that once I do the eyes, the nose, and put the mouth in there, that I don't have enough chin on my original egg shape, so I'll have to go back in and add that. I'm vaguely familiar with the mask. I'll probably have to go in and adjust this because I'm not 100% sure that that's right. I always like to get a little bit of, excuse me, I like to get a little bit of motion in that hair, even in a static drawing. To me, in comic book land, the wind is always blowing. Got to have those capes flowing in the wind. You got to have the hair blowing, creating energy, even when your characters are in a static pose or position. It's just more interesting to look at. I'm gonna be careful I don't get her too thick and manly looking here. Yeah, you know, I kind of still want, I'll thin that face out a little bit. That's better. I feel like I still want a little bit more face down here. I going in around the jawbone a little bit. Get rid of that, thin it out. I don't really like hair parted in the middle for some reason, I don't know. So I always like to have a little bit off to the side, so I'm gonna give her a little bit of off to the side look there. Yeah, see, I don't like the mouth. I don't think that mouth is, see, getting that mouth perfectly positioned between the nose and the end of the chin, so you don't have too much distance between the end of the nose and the mouth. It's kind of tricky because you don't want it too low either, because then they look kind of weird. There we go. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I actually have no idea what this costume does. So, looks like Marvel Girl. Times at 7:05. Okay. Okay. Until I can, I'm gonna have to go and check my costume reference on this. But we got to see the good stuff, got to see her finish her face. She looks like she's got a little bit of tude, which I think is good. I don't watch the television show, but she, the actress they got to play her, it's kind of tooty. So I think that's probably appropriate. Actually, that's Batwoman, isn't it? Oops. Yeah, well, I was thinking Batwoman, but drawn Huntress. Okay, Huntress has got an attitude too, right? They all do. They got to be. Fight crime in Gotham City, you have to have an attitude. All right, so I think that's, let's take a look at this and see what it looks like. There we go. Not too shabby. Here we go. Let's see. Hidden wind machines everywhere, exactly. Great stuff, Aaron. Hope you're not giving up on your YouTube channel. No, actually, these are, Todd, these are getting posted on the YouTube channel. I've just been so busy. The Justice League stuff I'm working on is so labor intensive that it's taking up like every ounce of, or every second of work day that I have. So doing the extra stuff has been really difficult. But these are going up on YouTube, and then I have some more, I got a color commission that I'm going to do that's going to be a YouTube channel as well, video. So I've got stuff coming up. Be patient with me. All right. There we go. That's all we're going to do for tonight. I'm not going to turn the feed off to switch cameras again. I'll try and figure out why I couldn't switch cameras so that tomorrow I can toggle back and forth if I need to. But here's what we'll do. Tomorrow, 5:30 is my goal. It's Friday, so it's a little crazy, but crazier than normal. But I don't think there's any reason why I wouldn't be able to go on tomorrow at 5:30. So we'll do day 2 of AaronCon2020 tomorrow. I'll hold off on Moon Knight, so you guys can come back and watch me draw Moon Knight tomorrow night if you have time. And I've got an Agent Carter on here, a John Stewart Green Lantern, The Spirit. Wow, that's going to be fun. Jim Starlin, Captain Marvel, Thundra. Wow. Got some good stuff coming up. What does Josh Olive say? As a non-artist, I always enjoy watching artists work and seeing how their brains work. Fascinating stuff. It's especially enjoyable when the art is awesome. Well, thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. So anyway, that's it for day 1 of AaronCon. Thank you guys for stopping by, and come and check it out tomorrow. This video is going to be posted up almost immediately on my YouTube channel. So if you came in late, you want to go back and check it out, go ahead and do that. And tomorrow I'll have more fun stuff to show you. All right. Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay well. And I will see you guys tomorrow.